without getting too partisan on any of this, I mean, I'm no fan of Donald Trump, but when I cast my gaze at 2024, I'm trying to imagine, forward party or no forward party, the scenario under which Donald Trump does not win the election. Like, how are you thinking about that and how that's going to play out?
So I've looked at the political landscape ahead. The betting markets right now have Republicans retaking the House of Representatives at 72% next fall, which seems about right. Right now, Democrats have a 5-seat advantage. Traditionally, the in-power party loses 10 to 15 seats in the off-cycle election. So most people in D.C. are looking at it saying, well, the Democrats have until November 22 to get anything done because they're probably going to lose the House. Mm-hmm. So at that point, you're not going to see many legislative victories for Democrats that they can champion heading into 24. Right now, Joe's approval rating is in the low to mid 40s. It could obviously change dramatically over the next number of months. So if you're the Democrats, who do you run against Trump? First, I'll go through the Republican field very quickly. It's going to be Trump in all likelihood. 65% approval rating. His strongest opponents have said they won't run against him. So he probably rolls through Chris Christie, Mike Pence, maybe Larry Hogan, like that kind of field. So then if you're the Democrats and you see Trump coming, you say, okay, who are we going to run? Joe Biden, incumbent president, defeated him once. The major drawback for Joe is that he'll be 81 years old and his health is going to be an issue. He might visibly be showing some signs of wear. So then you look around and say, okay, maybe Kamala. The problem is that Kamala polls 4 to 5 points worse than Joe pretty consistently.
She doesn't have a chance.
So then if you were to try and find a third person, you can't just appoint that person. They have to go through a competitive primary, which is something the Democrats would not want to go put themselves through. So it's probably Joe. Mm-hmm. So to your point, then, if you see the Biden-Trump rematch, who wins? And a lot of people don't realize that this past race was razor thin in terms of the margin, where 42,000 voters in 3 states had voted differently, Trump wins legitimately via the Electoral College vote. So who would you favor in terms of Biden-Trump 2? It's a difficult scenario to feel confident about Biden winning again. And so if you're the Democrats, this is your landscape, and it's a tough landscape. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason why I think that we need to be trying to think more systemically about what solutions look like. And since starting the Forward Party, I've had a lot of Democrats be like, hey, pretty much like vote Democrat all the way, like Trump's coming, like, there's no room for a distraction. And I look at this and be like, well, you can obviously do what you want to do in terms of supporting Democrats, but you have to look at this map, and I'm the numbers guy. Like, this is going to be really tough. And so if that's your plan A, it would be very wise to have a plan B.
Right. Well, on that subject,